take caution because there is that ongoing construction project as crews will soon start to build the permanent overpass on the outside lanes. The inner lanes, the 6 lanes that we are expected to drive over shortly, those are just temporary lanes that went up just 12 days after the car crash and fire happened. And just taking one more look at the PennDOT camera. Let me see if, oh, oops, pressed the wrong button. There we go. You can see that there's still no traffic going over it, but a short time ago there were a few workers, and the workers are no longer on the bridge. So hopefully we are moving along, gonna have traffic on that very shortly. As we take you again live outside, we're making our way towards Cottman Avenue. Here on 95, we're traveling southbound towards exit 30. And, you know, normally 4 lanes of traffic are moving in just one direction on I-95, and we are just squeezed into this one lane, but it is moving by. We're not stopped at a traffic light, having to deal with neighborhoods, just traveling along on the interstate. And up there on the left of the corner of the screen, you can see some construction crews. And they are, it looks like they're clearing the way as well. And I'm looking at the traffic cam from, oh, the other, okay. I don't know where those cars are coming from because I'm looking at the PennDOT cam and no one's going over it still. But those are the workers who have been trying to make this happen for everybody. Some applause for you guys. Thank you. Yeah, so just 12 days this took to hopefully soon have traffic flowing on the bridge. We're not sure why it's not happening at this point. And I'm taking a look outside, just where the neighborhood is here in Tacony. There is a lot of traffic outside. Looks like these cars are waiting to get on this bridge. And I'm going to show you again what the PennDOT camera looks like, because there's some workers there. You could see right there on the bridge. So they're not ready just yet for us. Some more workers. It looks like they're clearing maybe some of these cones, or they're rather laying down the cones. And we are still in, now we're opening up. We're opening up into 2 lanes, it looks like, and now you can see the straight, solid lanes. Okay, so this is the shoulder. It looks like we're taking the detour off as crews continue to work. So we're being forced off of the road at this point onto exit 30, off of the interstate. Oh, I didn't realize I was still on the camera. Sorry, let me throw you outside. So yeah, they're forcing us off the interstate at this point. Not exactly sure why. Is there any way to jump back on this? No? Okay, we're gonna have to go around. So not sure why it's not open just yet. There was a lot of hope that this would be reopened by noon. That was the promise by Governor Josh Shapiro. And, oh, it looks like there is some activity, a construction vehicle that just went over the bridge, but no other vehicles at this point are going off of it. Again, we are slowly making our way off the interstate. We're on an off-ramp at this point. We were traveling southbound, trying to get over that ourselves when we were forced off. And I was sort of wondering why we were going very slowly over the interstate when the PennDOT camera wasn't showing any vehicles going across, and that's why traffic is being pushed off of the interstate at this point. We got off at exit 30, and we are near Blay Avenue here in Tacony. I'm going to switch it back outside. So there is a Philadelphia police officer there directing traffic as we make our way near Wissanoming Street here in Tacony. A lot of traffic. Let's take it back on the PennDOT camera, and you could see that no cars are going over it at this point still. It looks like there is a worker in the yellow there at the bottom. Not sure. Yeah, this is, oh, yeah, not sure what's happening there. Take it outside. So we are near State Road at this point, trying to cross the interstate on 95, where that overpass came crumbling down after a car crash and explosion 12 days ago. And the promise was by noon today, that by noon, cars would be traveling over it. And there was a lot of excitement. There was a news conference. The governor talked to President Joe Biden over the phone, thanking him. And at any minute, the hope is that cars will be traveling over it. But it is 12:14, and that has not happened at this point. And I want to take you back to that PennDOT camera, and you could see there is a construction worker there walking across the bridge. There's another one. So no signs of cars yet, but we're going to try again. So we are looping around. So now we are on State Street here in Tacony, and this is what life has been like for the last 12 days on this street in this neighborhood. It really has been a lot of detours and cars traveling here on State Road to get through the detour. But you know, one of the things that Philadelphia police have been telling us is it is much quicker to go through the detours than to think you're going to find your own little shortcut by going on a side street here or there. There really were no holes. I tried myself a few times to find those shortcuts, could never do it. It always took way longer. Going through the detour always was the quicker bet. And so this is State and Cotman, where the collapse happened. And you could see on the left there, it's where it's blocked off. And yep, no cars are traveling over it still at this point. A lot of crews here. Tapping the brake lights again, going through the neighborhood. Wow, so we are now at 12:16, a quarter of an hour past when we were told that this, the hope was that it wouldn't happen. I mean, still 12 days since this incident. You know, a lot of people were thinking this wouldn't happen for months, so it's still pretty remarkable. The hustle of all these construction workers, the Governor Josh Shapiro calling it Delaware County ingenuity. That's a phrase he repeated a few times when describing, you know, how this happened. Delaware ingenuity meeting the grit of Philadelphia, making this happen so quickly. And these construction workers working around the clock. The governor saying missing Father's Day, working weekends, working overnight. That PennDOT camera allowing us to watch for ourselves the work going on around the clock. So we are traveling on State Street. We're approaching Princeton Avenue at this point. And you could see police on both sides. There have been so many Philadelphia police officers having to control traffic during this time because of all the road closures surrounding the interstate. So we're slowly making our way. Philadelphia police there. We're told there were 140 Philadelphia police officers working 43 posts.
Any way I can go north there? I'm on channel 3. Any way I can go north?
We're just seeing if we could make our way northbound on the interstate instead of having to go around. So they're letting us through, which is great, but just another look at the PennDOT camera, you can see no cars are traveling on that PennDOT camera still. We are now 18 minutes past the hour. Okay, here we go. So we are traveling onto the on-ramp of Interstate 95 northbound this time. And we are passing the bridge that would have allowed us, it's on the left side, you can't really see it, now it's sort of behind us. That bridge that is supposed to have cars flowing over it at this point to alleviate the traffic in the neighborhoods, and hasn't happened yet. Any moment that's expected to happen. All those flashing lights there in the background on the other side of the interstate. You can see all those construction crews, just so much manpower trying to make this happen as quickly as possible after a tanker truck was traveling and on a turn flipped over, it punctured. There was a fire that engulfed part of the interstate, causing the structure to weaken to the point where the northbound side collapsed. That happened June 11. And here we are 12 days later, anxiously waiting for the overpass to reopen. Okay, so on the other side, you could see all these police vehicles slowly inching their way. And take a look over here to the left. This looks like the 3 lanes of traffic finally inching their way towards that overpass. All this traffic you're seeing on the left side, they're going southbound. All this traffic you're seeing on the left side here, they are inching their way towards that new bridge of 3 lanes of traffic, so they no longer have to get off the interstate going through these neighborhoods. It's a lot quicker and easier than all these detours, the maze of detours we've been having to travel for the last week and a half. And we're going to spin around in a moment, but it's pretty clear on this side. I'm going to take a look at the PennDOT camera. Let's see. So, still no vehicles going over the PennDOT camera at this point. Yeah, George, we'll stay on the camera because I think we're getting close. I'll switch it back to the PennDOT camera. So no cars are going yet, but like we just showed you a few moments ago, it looked like police cars leading traffic. Police cars were out front. Behind them were those big yellow construction vehicles. and behind them were the 3 lanes of traffic that are making their way towards this overpass to finally get about 150,000 vehicles daily to cross this interstate instead of having to go through that maze of detours throughout the neighborhood. So we are making our way back. Trying to get to that interstate. And I'm continuing to monitor the PennDOT camera, nothing yet at this point. This is Frankfurt Avenue and Academy Road, by the way, not far from there. What happened was we were trying to get onto the interstate, and we noticed that traffic was slowly moving. We were told that at noon, traffic would start to cross over that bridge where there are 6 temporary lanes of traffic. Noon came and went, and no traffic had gone over it, and it is now 12:23. No one's going over it at this point. I'm checking the traffic camera on PennDOT, and there's nothing there. Just, you can see there's some construction cars and trucks. There's a crew member in the median at that point. And as we were traveling, and I was noticing on the PennDOT camera that there were no cars going over it, the reason was that we were actually being detoured, and we were being forced off the interstate back into Tacony, so we sort of had to loop around, and that's the reason why, because it's not open, and it is still not open at this point, but we're going to stay here hopefully until it does reopen. We'll send you back outside. And yeah. Did they say anything? No. Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't have it.
Okay. Okay, so here we go, round 2. Making our way back onto Interstate 95, trying to cross this thing. One of the first, potentially, if we're allowed to cross this. And so we'll just tell you a little bit about it. 12 days after this incident, these 6 temporary lanes are back up and running. They're solid lines, so drivers are urged to not pass each other, of course. Speed limit is just 45 miles an hour, but it's a lot quicker than having to make the detours throughout the neighborhood. And here we are. You can see all these brake lights as this group of drivers are anxiously waiting to go across that overpass. And at this point, there was still no traffic going over it. Been monitoring the live PennDOT camera that drew so much excitement, that showed the constant work of crews going at it for 24 hours a day for 12 days now, trying to get traffic flowing again over Interstate 95. So there are 4 lanes of traffic here. This merges eventually into 3 lanes of traffic. We're on Interstate 95 traveling southbound at this point near mile marker 31. And those 3 lanes of traffic are expected to be flowing over that bridge at any point. Take you to that PennDOT camera, and you can see there are no cars. It's 12:26. No cars are going over it at this point. I'm going to text the governor's office just to ask when our the holdup is. I just asked the governor's office why vehicles aren't traveling over at this point. Yeah, there's still a lot of excitement in the air. And so we are on Interstate I-95 southbound, approaching the Cottman Avenue off-ramp, exit 30. You can see all these vehicles, all these drivers are anxiously waiting for this to reopen. And we are among them. But at this point, it is not happening. Hopefully it does at some point soon. And this is what's happening 12 days after that tanker truck. It was hauling 8,000 gallons of gasoline. It crashed, caught fire at 95 and Cottman Avenue in Philly. That was, again, back on Sunday, June 11th. And it was a grim scene. The driver of that truck, 53-year-old Nate Moody, he was killed in the accident. And on top of all of that, the fire weakened the interstates so much that it collapsed, and crews determined the southbound lanes were not safe enough to drive on as well, and so those lanes had to be torn down. Governor Josh Shapiro saying earlier today that this was an example of how Pennsylvania can do big things, that when we come together, when we're determined, we can get stuff done. And he says that right before speaking, President Joe Biden called him. The president, of course, he grew up in Claymont, Delaware, so not far from this stretch of 95. And, you know, this stretch, it carries 150,000 cars and trucks every day. So it's extremely important to those who work and live around here. And it is 12:30. We'll show you the PennDOT camera one more time. And no cars are going over it. So we're 30 minutes past when we were expecting this to reopen, and outside we are just stopped in traffic right ahead of exit 30 by Cottman Avenue. Jorge, I'll keep on going if you want. It's up to you. Just stopped in traffic waiting for this to reopen, and it looked like a caravan of police cars and construction trucks were making their way very slowly towards it. So I'm not sure what the holdup is. I did text a spokesperson for the governor's office asking, and haven't heard back at this point. All right, we're moving a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna switch you back to, thank you, the PennDOT camera, and, oh, Okay, so those are construction vehicles going over it on the northbound side. Then the southbound side, you can see there was another construction car. Sorry for the focus, isn't great. So the important thing is trucks are going over it. I mean, that's super exciting. Why it's now 12:32 when other vehicles aren't going across? Oh, okay. Get pretty excited every time I see. So we got more construction cars flying over this thing, which is great to see. We are not. This is what it looks like outside. Traffic is snarled. A lot of brake lights here on the southbound side of Interstate 95 near exit 30. But just want to show you all the construction crews. We might be getting there. We're seeing more and more make their way. Oh no, one just stopped. That's not good. Come on. Let's just go. Open it up. Oh no. Why are they stopping? Oh man, come on. So you can see there's a construction worker crossing it right now. There's two pickup trucks, it looks like. I don't know what they're doing. It's 12:33, 33 minutes after we were expecting this to open. And let's take a look outside. So next to me, there's a car with, looks like a family inside this SUV. There's a dog, and it looks like a family inside. I can only imagine the number of families wanting to go on vacation and not wanting to have to travel through that maze of detours through Tacony. You know, I'd much rather be sitting on the interstate stuck in traffic than through neighborhoods and traffic lights and crosswalks. But it's not an exciting scene here, so I'll take you back to the pen.cam, which I actually really enjoy watching because you can see the sense of progress. So you can see each side has 3 lanes of traffic with the solid lines. The speed limit just 45 miles an hour because crews are supposed to be doing work on the outbound, the outside lanes of that to get that permanent overpass up on it. Okay, so the governor's office just got back to me, breaking news. Let me show you outside as I read this. Okay, so crews are moving the final cones and barriers and expect to have traffic on the southbound side very soon, which we're on. So that's from the governor's office. And so, yeah, that's exciting. So breaking news there from the governor's office. They're moving the final okay, here we go. I'm going to flip the camera. It's that police traffic detail I was telling you about. There's police cars, those 2 police cars up front, and this is the southbound side. So those are state police vehicles. Come on. There's a PennDOT truck. 12:36, 36 minutes after the hour. We were expecting at noon traffic to be flowing over the interstate, and here we go. So here we are right now. This is the southbound side near Cottman Avenue, exit 30. Take you back to the PennDOT camera. You can see, there we go. It's happening. It's happening. We got movement. All these cars finally making their way. Quick look outside, we are stuck in traffic. But these cars are flowing over the interstate after 12 days of detours. A lot of people were questioning the safety of the bridge. I mean, you could see these big 18-wheelers traveling over it, and all these cars. And this is us. We're just sitting here in traffic, hopefully going over very, very soon. So, that PennDOT camera, I'm not sure why the northbound side, I'll ask the governor's office. Let's see here. Do you know why traffic isn't moving on the northbound side? All right. So I just asked the governor's office. I mean, this is super exciting to watch, so I'll take you back to the PennDOT camera, and 3 lanes of traffic are moving as they should southbound, and you could see on the northbound side across from there, it's not. I just asked the governor's office why that is. And wow. I mean, really is incredible to see that after just 12 days. Okay, we are very, very slowly moving. Okay, and so the governor's office says the northbound side is expected to open between 2 and 2:30. So it's going to take a little more time to open the northbound side between 2 and 2:30, but the southbound side has reopened, and traffic is moving, and we're moving a little bit. We're less than a mile, you think, Will? Yeah, less than a mile at this point. So we'll hold it till we get over. So the interstate at this point is 4 lanes of traffic, a dotted line, so you could, of course, pass. When we approach that bridge, it is just those solid lines and 3 lanes of traffic, so no one's supposed to pass each other. And the speed limit drops to 45 miles an hour. So yeah, we're finally moving. And there's some trucks making their way across from the PennDOT camera, the southbound side of that overpass, that bridge, the temporary lanes. I know it's shaky, that's because we're moving a little bit finally. We're going about 20 miles an hour at this point. You can see the signs on the left, it says speed limit 45 miles an hour because of the work zone. We're getting pretty close. Yeah, this is just so cool to see these cars moving again. mean, so many of us thought it would take months, some thought longer, and cars are moving southbound Interstate 95 after just 12 days. Northbound side, no one's moving across at this point. It's going to take a couple more hours. And here we are. We are maybe a half mile away at this point, slowly approaching it. And Christine, if you're listening, we are coming close. If you can start recording us in TOC. Okay, so from the distance, we can see a crane there. The 3 lanes of traffic. And the solid lines are starting right here. So drivers are urged to go very slowly because this is a construction zone. You can see crews on the right side and the left side. They're waving. I'm gonna take a little video on my cell phone. Thank you! Thank you! Thank you guys! Thank you! And they're all very friendly. They were all waving as we just drove over. So that's it. We made it across. Not a lot of traffic at this point. I mean, pretty exciting stuff. 12 days it took crews to build that. The governor's office says that he worked with officials from Philadelphia, from the White House. At one point, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Buttigieg arrived in Philadelphia so he could take a look for himself at what was happening at the scene. And just a lot of around-the-clock work from so many crews was really crucial to this. The incident happened actually near a construction site. Crews were doing work on another on-ramp at the time, very close to all this, and so a lot of the equipment happened to be here at the time. So we just drove over. And we have some work to do, so I'm going to turn this off for now, but we'll have the latest coming up on CBS News Philadelphia at 4.